Thank you very much for coming. Thank you to Manon and to Rachel Valinsky for giving this book a second life. It's a tremendous book. It's Rene at a midpoint in his life where he's just writing one great poem after the next, and we lost 10 times as many great poems as we saved. And I wrote an introduction where I tried to tell the story of how this book took place, and I wasn't really sure if I should, tell the story about Rene and what it was like putting this book together. And I just figured he's so far over the line that you just don't have to worry, about it being politically correct or anything like that. I mean, he's just so out there. And just today I heard this great story. There used to be a restaurant down in Soho called Jerry's, and Rene loved that place. And Jerry closed the restaurant up around 3 in the morning, and he went home and he went to sleep. And at 6 in the morning, the alarm went off, and he had to rush down. And the front door window was completely smashed. And he crawled through it, and he went into the restaurant, and on the furthest table in the back, Rene was lying asleep. And he looked at Rene, and Rene opened one eye halfway, and he said, "It's just a piece of glass." So anyway, thanks for coming, and here's to Rene.
And now I'd like to introduce the first reader, Patrick Fox.
This is so odd. Okay. I miss Rene, obviously, and I'm reading a few poems, and I'll just sort of read the room, I hope, and know when you're tired of me. Edit view. It's festive tonight, you said. As I stared out into the blasted ruin of my life, it's festive. Tossing a sequin into the pit, the word falls flat. It's midnight, square time, time of the dogs. 19 cigarettes left. Let's see. Sometimes what a picture is important enough. In this litho by Robert Hawkins, the face is the perpetual victim. The Aztec after Cortez, the stranger in Manhattan, Tibet. The technique doesn't matter. It's the greasy crayon, the intelligent eyes, and the barbed wires sears across the face of an entire civilization. Apartment 20. On my ceiling there was a fish, bubbles out its mouth. A pigeon and a serpent with fangs attacked a goldfish there too. We'd lie in bed and look at them. The church bells would ring at noon, and at 6 a.m., 24 strokes. How many times we counted them? We called our bed the cloud. And there we'd float. The bathtub was in the kitchen, and it took forever to fill up. We'd bathe together afterwards. Oh, the countless cigarettes and takeout Chinese food. The bed was so narrow, 3 years we made it fit. The sheets were green, the sheets were pink, the sheets white linen from the past. Love letter. You evil son of a bitch. Can't you see how sick you make me? Why don't you stay away from me? I hate you. Two brothers. In Picasso's painting, the two brothers, the older holds the younger on his shoulders. Now Louis and his older brother are trying to kill me. I've never had anyone to protect me. When I was 12, my big brother made me blow a car full of guys. I lost a marker here. I lost a marker. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. On Long Pond. God, don't let me cry in the subway. Don't let me kill anyone or let them kill me. I've come so close. Don't let me cry in the subway, in the elevator. I don't know what I'm doing. How I want it to be wonderful, go somewhere and have smart friends, never hurt anyone. So young, my heart was cut out at an early age and tossed around the playground. If I could get away from them, they were strong. All I had was horrifying intelligence that learned to wound, to cut, and now in the playground you can do anything but tell the truth. I have become the brute. I have been turned into an animal, solitary, hunting vicious, finding betrayal in friends. I seek enemies, constancy, love, haha. 3 years I loved the same man, he left me. He's trying to get my apartment, to move in with a new lover. I'm 34 and not right in the head. Everyone is afraid of what I might say, so am I. No one has to worry. In about 3 months, I'll be on the street, without any money, in a circumstance to suit my mood. When you're in the street, you're a lunatic raving, and he'll be living here, in this exquisite and cursed apartment, having my friends over for dinner, or just enjoy the view. And I'll be a lunatic raving in the street, devoured by jealousy. When you go mad, you see yourself going mad. I see myself going mad, and I feel the disconnect notice. Someone tried to kill me with 2 knives last week. I think that's enough.
And Cristine Brache.
Hi everyone. I'm very honored to be here today as Rene Ricard has been a huge influence. He'll never have a love as constant as mine. I'm sure I'll have no trouble finding another faithless lover. As he sat in his apartment waiting for his friend, he became frightened by the apartment. So sorry. I'm gonna start again, forgive me. There were 2 boys who loved each other and were very possessive and jealous of each other. They took great delight in making each other unhappy, spending days together in transports of sadness, until one left and the blue-eyed one watched his friend go back to his parents, waiting until he would return to the little apartment in the Spanish Quarter. This went on for several years, alternating great love and insane suffering until they became sick, one with fever and the other with headache. When they would separate, one would get well and the other sicker, both unhappy. They would see each other again and be deliriously happy, and it would make the other sick. Each time you fit a puzzle together, more pieces are missing. As he sat in his apartment waiting for his friend, he became frightened by the apartment. When he went out, he would be afraid to come back and started to be afraid wherever he was. In their passion, the windows were broken and the door didn't close. His friend, however, thought it was romantic to come over and make love for a few hours in a bombed-out place. As they began to see each other less often, the one who had to live there found it more difficult to do the simplest thing for himself, and the place became fetid. The dark one, who was looked after and spoiled by his parents, was enchanted that his friend loved him so much as to care about nothing else in his life, could find no reason to fear for his friend's safety, casting it aside as over-dramatization. One night an intruder killed him as he slept. The other discovered the body. He assumed that his friend had been killed by someone he'd brought home from the street. Corazón. La rosa de amor ha perforado mi corazón. ¿Dónde está Luis, amorcito, arbolito, mi conchita, soldado? Vuelas al sur, pero tu corazón está en Nueva York. Está en Nueva York. Pero mi corazón vuela hacia el sur. La vida nos ha abandonado. Estoy contigo hasta la muerte o Santo Domingo. Thank you.
And now Rachel Valinsky.
It's been a long journey translating this book and Rene's first book, which is somewhere over there, with Manon, and really wonderful to be here with you all to celebrate the launch of this one. So I'm going to read a poem called Madrugada. False dawn, Louis asleep. Slip out of bed, that Spanish time of night. Turn on lamp. Open Architectural Digest. I bought it so I wouldn't have to look at my apartment. The $600,000 Degas on page 56. An obvious fake, you can tell by the face. I'm good at that sort of thing. I've always wanted something really great, a Vermeer in a junk store. Diana Vreeland sits around her god-awful apartment, descanting on how only the Rothschild Chateau Mouton was good enough for her to feel really comfortable in. The windows in front of me are both smashed from burglaries 3 months ago. Got to have them fixed. Be nice to have a few good things for Louis to throw when he got mad. Not pictures, he'd never do that. We both know that pictures aren't material objects in my neighborhood. I mean, something that would really make it worth a crook's while, like a ruby cabochon, something absolutely beautiful, like that Spanish saint that only cost $700, and when I finally saved it, it was gone. I would never have wanted anything else. A painting acquires material status when it's resold. All my pictures will attack me for sure if I don't make that clear, except my Russian Jesus, who's really on my side. The cascade of a lordly manor, the seasons in a baronial park, gold lighters flicking jewels clink as taffeta rustles amidst objects de vertu and carrières. At this moment, I'm looking for a long butt in a plastic ashtray. Didn't find one. If only I had some great thoughts to console me. The knowledge that I was the sole repositorium of some unique and precious insight. No visions, only views. Well, they just turn on the heat. I wonder if Diana Vreeland has heat yet. Now, Oraro gilds the Côte d'Azur as we draw the fabric by Clarence House about us. Here's Jean Cocteau's house, still inhabited by his adopted son. The quaint legal curiosities of the country that gave the world champagne. Nothing ostentatious, just Picassos. I don't live in that world, I guess. I subscribe to another magazine in my heart. The intricacies of reciprocal amusements from one great house to the next are beyond the unravelings of one who dwells as I. Even the shibboleths of the grande pédérastie are mute in my mouth. The fine and elegant con game of the fine and fancy, let it be played around me with credit to the photographer and couturier. I love a ruby ring, but who wouldn't? As I hear the faint sound of Louis' gold chain rustle through the hair on his chest as he turns over in bed and says, "What are you doing writing? You're crazy. Come to bed." Diana Vreeland, the comforts of Chateau Mouton are none to that. That poem is dated October 20th, 1980, 7 a.m.
And now Anselm, Berrigan.
Hi. This is a beautiful book. It's really great to have these poems. in an edition that doesn't cost $300. So thank you. I'm going to read 3 poems. I think I'm going to read 2 emails too. Not from Rene, but I knew Rene when I was a kid. I don't know if that qualifies as knowing him exactly. He really liked my mom and my dad. I'm going to read a poem and then get into that. This is on page 113. You meet and you step into another life. That happening isn't like anything, but you know it was already there, waiting. And you know everything could blow away, the way a season has its negative, like a photo. This is called Ginger Rogers. In the movies, we can be young and clever with stylish wit. In swing time, unemployed and down and out, there were still flowers in all the vases, and poverty in Art Deco suite. We manufactured our lives in this New York. Not knowing when our next meal would come, we knew it would be in a fancy restaurant if we just wore the right clothes and trusted our wisecracks. And beauty, we knew, was just a matter of the right angle and lighting. We had the gift of improvisation. They would love our cleverness. Didn't Holly Golightly end up all right in the movie? We would be that kind of sparkling, mischievous queen. Now we know Melville's New York and Pierre, scrounging beers when the champagne ran out. The New York where brilliant salons are closed to us, dirty feet and busted heels. We claw where we once sat up and begged, our makeup following the same outlines, the features shrunken and hard beneath, loved only when our eyes are shut, hands sticky afterwards. If only we'd been cynical at the beginning, we could have turned out okay. If only we'd believed the book where Holly Golightly disappears from the face of the earth at the end. And then this is called Christ Pantocrator. Pantocrator? Pantocrator. I don't know. I looked it up, it's a thing. Sorry. My brain's melting. Christ Pantocrator. In a world where there is suffering, there are peonies and Russian skaters. And to have that love and still be young, the attitude accepting the triumph, secures the greater future triumph. The orphan, the young West German girl, looks reassuringly at her partner. Was he hurt? You want them to do so well, as we try to all do something else as well. Self-conviction dignifying excellence. The entrance with fanfare, the aspirations of millions. Skating, that it's done it all, and to win at it, never bored or pettish at defeat. Youthful ebullient / consummate mastery. Are we to compare the tragic laugh and the giggle? We saw the new fireworks, and they were simple. But who doesn't feel a little wicked when they win? Thank you.
Thank you.
Nan?
Patrick just signed Rene my book. Perfect. Plagiarism was beautiful. I met Rene when I was 18. I was walking through the Boston Commons, and he walked up to me and said, "I want to cast you as My Little Marjorie." In a movie that Warhol's making, but it never got made. It's one of my greatest regrets. And it's good to see a whole new generations enjoying Rene. It's wonderful. And then I tried to put myself at a distance from the subject. But the distance was just another angle on the same subject. And it was always the same subject, you. Blue Bayou for Dickie Landry. He was 18 working in a gas station to pay off his new car when they came in and blew out his brains. Now the rain is coming down so thick it looks planned out. A crack of lightning and finish. You love him, then he is no more. Your daily life changes. The backyard looks different. A bird sits on the windowsill for a second. He went to work and didn't come home. They killed my son. A good kid. With all the crooks and politicians, they killed my son. God, if I were you and had my pick, I'd take the young, the beautiful, and the good. I'm reading the first two and the last two. And you can read all the ones in between. Seasons, this is written March 21st, 77, 11 a.m., but I never knew him to be up at 11 a.m.
It's still up.
Exactly. Seasons begin and end abruptly. All winter it's been awful. Now the first day of spring, and you can see it already, a type of happiness. I want this to be about that happiness, not how abruptly it ends. About spring, not about last winter, how abruptly it began and still follows me around. Sadness only begins abruptly. This is the last one. And if I should kill myself tonight and snuff out a lifetime of learning and a vast repositorium of lore without a biographical text to explain these scattered notes, would you publish my letters and reveal the angle that you had on me? So, if I kill myself tonight, stop the headache and the genius all at once. Then you could show my letters to the world. Show I loved you once. And your new lover, when he's forgot your name, can still say I knew Rene Ricard and asked him once to leave my house.
That's it.